One Punch Man Season 2, Episode 4. Another great episode. Like, a lot of fun with this one. Picking up right where the last one left off. You know, that was a well-received episode, and it seems like this is going to be well-received as well. At least I hope so. It introduced one of the best characters in the series in Metal Bat. Yes, it was fast, but like I said before, they're cramming 46 chapters into 12 episodes here, so it's going to be rather quick. But this is what One Punch Man Season 2 is all about. It's just going to keep this pace, and it's just going to keep getting better from this point on. But other than that, let's get into it. So the episode's picking up with Garou as a child, and we're seeing more into his backstory, developing his character further, and we're getting more of an idea of why Garou is the way that he is. I mean, of course, this isn't answering all of the questions, but it's answering some that we had. So, like, Garou has pretty much always been this way. You know, as a child, he was kind of on the opposite spectrum that all of the heroes are. Like, when they grow up, they see, like, Superman or whoever else, or, you know, like in the My Hero world, they see All Might, and they want to relate to him. They think he's so cool. They want to, you know, establish justice the way that he does and other heroes. But Garou is the opposite. He thinks that stuff's lame, and he actually sympathizes with the villains, and he wants to be more like them. He thinks that being a hero is somewhat unfair, and that, I don't know, there's kind of like an unbalance in the world in a way. And then he goes on to claim that he wants to become the strongest monster so that no heroes can defeat him. So, could that be Garou's shonen protagonist motivation here? Garou's kind of like a shonen protagonist in reverse in a way. He's like an anti-hero, anti-villain, but that doesn't mean that he's not going to get all of the perks, the power-ups, and the Deus Ex Machina that a normal shonen protagonist would get. Also, guys, I'm aware that this isn't a shonen series. I'm just saying that for the sake of this. So then it cuts to King, and we're seeing what King is all about. You know, playing games, doing whatever he wants, just relying on his image to get by in this world. Hey, and it's not his fault, it's just the way that things happen for him. But, like, whenever the Hero Association calls him for, like, to take care of monsters or stuff like that, he's just like, nah, I can't do it, I'm busy, I'm already fighting a monster. And technically, he's not lying. I mean, he is fighting a monster in the video game, and he is going in the dungeon, or whatever he said, I'm paraphrasing here, but still hilarious. Expanding upon King further, I just love King, one of my favorite characters. And this season, we'll focus on him more as it goes on. We're just getting started with King, honestly. So then we're introduced to Metal Bat, or should I say reintroduced to him. We only really saw him at the end of Season 1, like episodes 10 through 12, whatever episodes he was in. But we didn't really get the best first impression of him then. We kind of just got, like, oh, he's a bancho, like a, you know, an 80s high school kid with, like, a greaser haircut, who's just really brash, arrogant, and doesn't play by the rules, and, like, begrudgingly a hero almost. But here we're seeing that there's more to Metal Bat. He does respect establishments like the sushi place that they're in, because we see Waganma and his father, Narinki, who is a Hero Association executive. They're, like, taking the plates from the sushi belt and they're putting them back on the thing. And that's extremely rude in Japan. And we see that, like, Metal Bat's like, nah, stop. You know, you got to be respectful. And Metal Bat just doesn't relate to these two individuals at all. I mean, how would you, unless you are, like, having an extreme case of affluenza the way that this kid is, or if you're just some rich, pompous a-hole the way that Narinki is. You're not really going to relate to these characters. You're not really going to like them. And this just, I don't know, makes Metal Bat in that way more relatable, since he's not down with this. He thinks you guys are bougie. And he's only really doing this because he was told to. Because, you know, there's, like, we found out that the Hero Association is wary of what Garou is doing. Because we saw that in the previous episode, Garou knocked out that other executive who was, like, with the two girls trying to get a kiss from him. So then he knocked that dude out. So that led them to believe that Garou wasn't just targeting heroes now, but he's targeting the Hero Association executives as well. So that's why they sent Metal Bat to be the bodyguard of Narinki and his son Waganma. And other than that, we're finding out that Metal Bat has a little sister. I don't think this information was relayed in Season 1. Maybe he name drops her once or twice. But we are seeing that he does have something he cares about very deeply, and that is his little sister. Also, I don't think they say Metal Bat's age in this episode, but in case you were curious, Metal Bat is 17. And another thing about ages is that Garou's age. So we saw in the last episode, and in this one, Garou doesn't want Tario to call him Mr. or whatever the, you know, the Japanese moniker for, like, an older person is. Garou's 18. I know it's a little surprising. You'd think that he's older than that, but nah, he's a young buck. You know, just real brash and just, you know, on his way to fulfill his goal. We also get this awesome little moment at the end of that sequence when the monsters, like, break into the sushi shop to grab Waganma and Narinki, and Metal Bat's like, no one's leaving until they've paid. Like he cares that much about just doing the right thing in his own way that that's paramount to him. Not even saving them is first. It's like, you guys can leave, but they gotta pay first. Also, we see the monsters like holding this picture when they're trying to grab Narinki and Waganma. So that's kind of giving us insight into what their motivation is here, because we never find out in the episode. Like, Metal Bat asks them, like, why are you here? Why are you going after them? And they're like, if you could defeat us, we'll tell you. And then, of course, we don't find out then. But we're getting some hints here that they are specifically targeting Narinki and Waganma, obviously because they are executives. Why does monsters want them? This is, like, interesting behavior for monsters. We haven't seen them act in like a coordinated fashion like this before. I mean, the most coordination we've ever seen before was like Deep Sea King and the Sea Folk, but they were just, coming to the surface to take over. They didn't have like a real complex plan or specific people that they were going after. Same thing with Boros and his crew. They were kind of just all about destruction and going after the strongest person possible. But this is calculated. There is a reason why they're doing this. So then we cut to Saitama, and he is in fact entering the tournament just like we thought he was. We saw him buying the wig at the end of the previous episode. So this is what the wig is for. He is in fact impersonating Shiranko to enter this tournament. And his main motivation is just to get the 3 million yen prize money. That's about, what, like 30 grand or something? I could be wrong. Maybe 300 grand? It's like 30 grand, something like that in Japanese money. So, pretty hefty payday. That's like some people's salary for the entire year. So yeah, I don't blame Saitama for doing this. Yes, it is hilarious because we also see Moomin Rider talking to Shiranko about, like, he's a great guy. He would never impersonate you. He's a true hero. But we're like, yeah, Saitama, not the greatest person when it comes to morals. He's definitely not on the moral level of Metal Bat, because I think this is established that Metal Bat wouldn't do something like this. But yet Metal Bat is like super arrogant and almost disrespectful to a degree. So this is just building on top of Saitama just being an awesome character and kind of like an iconoclastic type of hero. Not going by the norms that we typically see. So pretty cool. Also, we're finding out that, or we're rather seeing a flashback of Garou when he was training under Bang. Because this new character that we're being introduced to here, Sourface, the character with like the huge chin, talking to Saitama in the locker room here. So we're seeing that Garou was in fact like a bully back then too. Like, I don't know, it's implied in this episode that one day he just snapped and was like, I can't learn anymore. I'm at my peak here. And then he just started taking out all of the students that Bang had. It was also relayed to us by Sourface that Garou was kind of hiding his power. So he was just waiting until the time was right before he was just too powerful and he felt that he couldn't learn anything more, and then he just took everyone out. This is also the reason why Bang doesn't have any students, because of this incident, because Garou taking them all out. And Silverfang didn't want this to happen anymore or something like this. Sourface kind of relays that he was like forced to resign from the school because of Garou, which is unfortunate. So after that, it cuts to Metal Bat, and we see him easily take care of those two monsters that originally broke into the sushi restaurant. I don't know if we get the disaster level on them in this episode. I don't think we do, but maybe in the manga we do. I'm pretty sure these guys are tigers. So we're talking about Venus People Trap and Junior Centipede, who in this translation on Hulu is called Senta Kohei, or Kohai. So, yeah, I'm going to call him Junior Centipede along with the rest of these Centipede characters, because that's how I've learned them all this time beforehand. It seems to be the more popular translation. But yeah, he takes care of them pretty easily. We don't even see it just happens off screen. But this is, typical. Like, S-Class heroes are going to have no problem with Tiger-level monsters. It's when they run into demons that the issues begin, because the comparative scale that the Hero Association uses to distinguish the power of monsters is like a demon being the equivalent of like one S-Class hero. So that's how powerful demons are. They're about as powerful as an S-Class hero, not limited to being even more powerful than them in some cases. So after that, Watchdog Man is fully introduced when we see Garou talking to Tario. I don't think we got it too much into Watchdog Man's backstory in Season 1. I don't think we did at all, actually. We kind of just see Watchdog Man. He says someone farted at the meeting, and that's it. So we're finding out that Watchdog Man is almost the sole protector of City Q, and he kind of just chills there on top of like a mantle, similar to how Hachiko the dog does, if you're familiar with that story. from Japan. There was like it's pretty much like that episode of Futurama when that dog gets unthawed from the preserve that it was in underground, and like it was like Fry's old dog, and we found out that it waited there the whole time for Fry, even though he never came back. That's pretty much like literally the story of Hachiko. This is where Futurama got that from. So Watchdog Man has a similar dynamic to that, although he's like a crazy powerful S-Class hero. And apparently he never leaves City Cube, of course only in very specific situations like the S-Class meeting and things like that. But the fact that they're talking about Watchdog Man here and showing his whole story and establishing him means that we're probably going to see him later on in this series. So if you're super interested in Watchdog Man, you might be getting what you want soon. So then it cuts back to Metal Bat, and we see him encounter 2 demon-level monsters. This is a pretty big deal because, like I said, the demons are equivalent to S-Class heroes in power, or at least somewhat. So he's taking on Senior Centipede, who is called Senta Senpai, and then Lafflesidon, or however you say his name. So Metal Bat, he's put on the ropes in the beginning of this, like, because, it's 2v1, it's unfair, of course, regardless of how powerful you are, unless you're not, like, crazy powerful like Tatsumaki. But the Lafflesidon, he has that sleeping gas, and this is hindering Metal Bat in his ability to defend himself against Senior Centipede, and he just gets wrecked for a little bit. But then we see Metal Bat hit himself in the head to overcome the sleeping power. This is an awesome sequence. I've always loved it in the manga as well. But this also shows us what Metal Bat's ability is. But because before this, we didn't really know much about Metal Bat. We just knew that he had a metal bat, which seems to be indestructible, and he has super strength to somewhat degree. But now we're finding out Metal Bat's ability is called Fighting Spirit. And while it's not exactly explained fully, I can tell you that this ability is similar to like what the Hulk has. Like, the more damage that Metal Bat takes, the more powerful he becomes. Yeah, it's pretty broken. So, I mean, it's evidently on display here because after Metal Bat hits himself in the head, after already taking some damage from Senior Centipede, he becomes significantly stronger and is able to one-shot both of them consecutively. The ability to one-shot a demon for an S-Class hero is pretty damn impressive because, like, let's go back to Season 1 when we saw, like, Puri Puri Prisoner, Sonic, them taking on just one demon in Deep Sea King, and they couldn't really do much. They were actually, like, failing against him. And we see just Metal Bat just one-shotting 2 demons here. So, of course, they are not the same level of power as Deep Sea King, but they are all demons nonetheless. So, pretty impressive here from Metal Bat just taking care of these 2 demons pretty effortlessly. So then after that, the gauntlet just continues for Metal Bat. This is almost like a video game level for him. He started at like tigers, then he goes after the demons. So now he's going after a full-blown dragon in Elder Centipede, or Centachoro as they call him in this translation. And this is just awesome. We, the manga readers, have been waiting to see Elder Centipede in the series for so long because this is like one of those monsters that, looks fantastic in the illustrations by Murata, but we're just waiting to see him fully animated because that's when he's really going to shine, like a character of this magnitude. Because as we've seen, he's like comparable to the size of like a portion of a city. And the cities in One Punch Man are much bigger than normal cities that we have in our own reality, or at least it's implied to be. So a fun fact about Elder Centipede is that we're finding out that he appeared 2 years ago. So this isn't the first time he's coming out. This information is relayed to us by the bearded worker that we see in this episode. This character doesn't have a name yet. There could be a reason for that. Can't talk about it. But yeah, just know that there might be some significance to this character. We're not going to find out in this season. This is like late game stuff. Anyway, so other than that, we're finding out that he is a certified dragon. And this is significant because this is the second instance in the anime that we are seeing a dragon level monster be declared such. So originally when we saw Beefcake, the huge Marogori monster in the first episode, the Attack on Titan looking dude, he was established as a demon at first. Yes, I know, crazy, but it was just, the way that things are. And the creator, he said himself that if Beefcake were to not be stopped by Saitama, he would have further been classified as a dragon. I mean, that guy is a certified dragon. It was just kind of interesting storytelling at the time. So other than that, Elder Centipede is the first official demon to be dragon level threat to be classified. in the manga at least. So in the anime, at the end of season 1, after season 1 after episode 12, we see that monster Pluton, that big pig monster. I think they call him the King of the Underworld or something. And then he is labeled as Disaster Level Dragon. Although he is non-canon technically because that is anime exclusive, Pluton is not in the manga. So that means that Elder Centipede is the first official dragon that we see in the series according to the manga. Pretty cool, and he's just not even like a normal dragon either. He's pretty damn powerful even for the dragons, as we were seeing. And this, of course, doesn't stop Metal Bat going after him, and we see a crazy impressive feat of power from Metal Bat here, because as Elder Centipede, aka Centitoro, is charging in on him, he's able to stop him mid-charge with a swing of his bat. Now, yeah, it shakes the hell out of Metal Bat, but still, this is indicative of how crazy powerful he is. And then he just gets tossed to the side, no problem by Elder Centipede. But then he jumps back on him, which is pretty awesome, and runs up his back. In the manga, it is shown him crawling up Elder Centipede's back with like his bat in his mouth. That was funny, and I think that would have been better. But I guess they chose to depict him running up Elder Centipede's back in the anime, and it's fine. It still looks awesome nonetheless. And then we see him beat we see Metal Bat beat Elder Centipede in the face with the move that he claims is the Fighting Spirit Dragon Pummeling. So it's like a charged up special attack that he has, essentially. It could be called Dragon Pummeling because he only uses it against dragon level monsters, meaning that he has possibly fought dragons before. Not confirmed, just speculation, but it would be interesting if he did. So other than that, Garou shows up again. He's talking about some stuff. He's like, hey, where'd Metal Bat go? And we just see Elder Centipede in the distance. And then Metal Bat just comes flying back and lands right next to Garou so conveniently. Awesome little sequence. And then Metal Bat gets up and he's like, all right, gotta get back to business, or whatever he says. Time to make the donuts. And then Garou's like, hey, wait a second. Kinzuku Bat, or Metal Bat, however they say it in Japanese. And then, of course, Garou's not going to let up this opportunity to take on another S-Class hero. And this is just going to be so friggin' awesome because we have established two of the best characters in the series about to go against each other. Similar conflicting personalities and attitudes. This is just going to be awesome. We are going to see this fight in the next episode, so look out for that. It's one of the... I would say one of the favorite fights of the series among the fandom, definitely. If you're not a fan of Metal Bat after this episode, I think you are almost guaranteed to be one after the next. But that's where the episode ends off, and interestingly enough, we are getting another post-credit sequence that seems like this is going to be part of the course for the rest of the season, but we are seeing our first instance of Suiryu in the post-credits. It's the guy with the ponytail and the kung fu outfit when he walks up to the girls. And he's like, hey, you're going to the martial arts tournament, blah, blah, blah. Another little fun little Easter egg about that scene is that we see that people get alerts on their phones for like what a disaster level is and what's going on. I don't think this is depicted in the anime. We never really, in the manga. We don't really find this out, so this is cool to see. Also, this whole little sequence here where Suiryu is talking to those girls, I think this is anime exclusive as well. We don't see this in the manga. Like, when Suiryu is first established, I think we just see him in the tournament. The significance about Suiryu is because he's also established in this episode beforehand. When Sourface is talking to Saitama in the locker room, they're looking over the tournament seeds, and they're like, oh, the first seed is Suiryu. So that means that Suiryu is held in the highest regard amongst all of the martial artist competitors in this tournament. So Suiryu is kind of a big deal, at least right now. But we'll further get into him in the next episode because that episode is called the tournament or the Super Fight tournament, whatever it's called. So that means that the tournament is for sure going to start. So yeah, but that's pretty much it for the review today, guys. Let me know what you thought about this episode. I loved it so much. I can't wait for the next one. Let me know what you think about Metal Bat. Let me know what you think about Elder Centipede. Let me know what you think about Garou and Suiryu. If you liked the video, guys, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon. Gives you access to a Discord. We do hangouts on there. Gives you access to a weekly Q&A video that I do in this channel every Sunday. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you in the next one.